Huh? Yeah. Who else is going to? We're gonna just go through. We have a few things. We'll just go. We want to go through showing a little bit of our process through some of the projects last year. I'll introduce myself. I'm John. This is Tom, and this is Patrick. Patrick's the new guy that we just hired. So,
Hey, thank you.
we'll give Tom an applause too. Tom. Yeah, so we make up the designing team at Rooster Teeth. We work with Emily McBride, who runs the store. Who she's not here, but let's applause for Emily because Emily's freaking awesome. Emily is the reason why we have anything in the store ever to sell you anything to you guys. And so yeah, she runs our department. She does everything but the art for what we do. But our department has actually grown through the years. I mean, obviously in people and that kind of thing. But it's actually stretched beyond just merch and stuff. So that's why this is not just like a merch panel. This is a designing panel because we actually take care of a lot of the design needs for the whole department. And we'll actually show a few of those things today. But we, you know, we get to do all kinds of. We have a really fun job as far as designers go, and we get to do things from merch, which is super awesome, to the branding you guys see, to you know, assets for even shows and stuff like that. I mean, to even just things like, you know, that was us. You know, someone had to make that, and so we get to do all that. You know, anything you see signage around RTX, that was this team. And so we'd love to talk to you guys a little bit about our process, a little bit of our behind the scenes of the making of some of our fun projects this year. And then we also have some Q&A later, so if you guys have some questions or want to ask anything, we can do that. We'll start off with the new guy, so I'm going to pass the computer down to you, Patrick. And yeah, you get to start us off, set the bar.
All right.
Yeah. There, you take that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And you can go ahead and just show them what project you bring.
Okay, so I brought the project for my Sarge 2 Sarge Harder poster. I don't know if you guys saw that short yet. Yeah? All right.
Have you guys been down to the store and seen that massive RVB epic movie poster? Yeah, that was Patrick. All Patrick.
Thank you. It's actually, I think it's like the first big project I worked on after coming on at Rooster Teeth. What they wanted was they wanted a movie poster to kind of coincide with the release of the Sarge 2 PSA trailer type thing. So the first thing I did is I ended up watching the trailer, which was awesome and epic and extraordinary and everything I ever wanted to be and more. And then I started sketching. I did a bunch of iterations of sketches, but this was the one that got approved. I dig it a lot. Usually I sketch on pen and paper, but with everyone working on computers at Rooster Teeth, it's easier if I do it in Photoshop.
Yeah, and with a project like this, because you will go into very I'm gonna use a word here. You guys know this word. We use a lot of bandwidth. That's a special word at Rooster Teeth from our friend Cohen. And because later on this project uses so much bandwidth, it's very important that Patrick works on and makes concept stuff in sketches, because otherwise we're going to be asking an entire team of animators to make assets for us that takes hours of rendering. So this is a very important part of the process.
Right, and usually with stuff like this, I do kind of just a rough sketch, not too finely rendered, just to give them kind of a sense of where the lighting's coming from and how I want the final layout to be, and just to kind of get the general idea of having like the title and like the billing, the date, and all that good stuff, just to get a feel of the layout and how I want the poster to look. So this poster is it's really inspired by Drew Struzan. Do you guys know who that is?
Name posters Drew Struzan's done.
Oh, Drew Struzan has done all of the Star Wars posters, all of the Indiana Jones posters. He's done the Goonies poster. He's done the Blade Runner posters.
Basically anything Steven Spielberg has ever touched.
Basically, yeah. He's also done, Hook.
Yeah, he's the guy who has that he paints all of his posters and has that very lifelike look to his posters. Definitely one of my favorite and one of my big inspirations. Absolutely.
Yeah, so he was a huge inspiration for this kind of style of modern, dramatic, kind of 80s over-the-top action poster.
Which is the theme of RTX this year.
Which is the theme of RTX this year, so that worked out great. So the other thing, and just to show you side-by-side of what the final looks like with the original sketch, and it came out pretty close. A lot more finely rendered, a lot cooler detailed in the sketch, but...
Tell them how you got all those assets.
How I got all those assets? Oh, man. So I had to talk to the animators to get all of these assets, and we went through process of talking to the people who pose the assets to kind of get just the basic screenshots of the characters, and that went through a couple of iterations to get that done. And then once we had that, we talked to the lighting people to get everything lit somewhat similarly and to kind of get the mood of the poster with the dramatic lighting and everything. And then it went to the render farm for hours and hours and hours and hours to get all of these assets to render at 300 DPI.
Because these are all custom 3D assets that since we animate, a good chunk of RVB.
Yep.
We have the opportunity to we're gonna pose Tucker doing anything we want.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot easier than us having to paint or find, and it's much prettier than doing the machinima. Although there is machinima on there.
Yep. Like the ghost is machinima, Freckles up here is machinima. And then the zombies. I think the zombies are my favorite part. The zombies are also machinima. But the things like the Sarge hero shot, and then Tucker over here with the sword, and the nice, lovely embrace right here in the middle, that's all posed by our lovely and talented animators. And then, just so you can get a sense of how I kind of put this together, made a little video of just how the assets came together for the final poster. Just laying everything out, putting on dramatic lighting and fire, and then the weathering and final color effects to give everything really a nice, even, uniform feel, to make it feel like it's all part of one scene.
You can't see in the video, but in between those frames is a lot of Photoshop crashing.
Oh yeah, so much Photoshop crashing. Because this is an absolutely massive file. It's a good day for me when I graduate from PSD to PSB,
Yeah.
When I get the large format document going, it's always exciting.
But yeah, so this is a good example of when we, a lot of times when we do stuff with certain departments, RVB is a good example. Don't break my computer.
Sorry.
We collaborate with the departments heavily. And all throughout this process, we're also getting feedback from the heads of the departments. We're talking with people like Gray and Miles and that kind of thing. And often with stuff like this, Matt Hullum will get involved as well. And then even with all of our RVB stuff, since our relationship is with Microsoft, Microsoft is also involved also in approving all this kind of stuff. So they actually have a say in what we do. They're extremely excited about anything we do with Red versus Blue. Even this year they started selling some of our stuff in their own store. So they actually bought some merch from us and are actually selling themselves.
It was really surreal for me to contact the people at Microsoft to get the Microsoft and 343 assets to put on this poster. That was by far the highlight of my time at Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Also, something design nerds. What's up?
Looking at the Red versus Blue logo, it looks a little bit different than normal. What's that?
Oh, that's just the flat file I pulled from the assets folder.
I think the post turned out really good.
Yeah. Oh,
what do you guys think?
Sorry, design nerds. This is actually a custom typeface I got to do for the poster, which was really cool. It was really hard to hit the right tone for the typeface, going 80s, but not too obviously over the top 80s, because we have an Achievement Hunter poster with a similar layout and kind of the same theme going. So this is my favorite part. It was a lot of fun for me to kind of develop a 80s but not too 80s, over the top but not too over the top kind of typeface and type treatment, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you. Just close out of all my windows.
All right. What do you got, Tom?
A whole lot of nothing. So I decided to talk more about the T-shirt aspect of the design process, and something I had done a lot more of in the past, and more recently I've been working more in internal stuff and the stuff that makes things run, the banners or business cards, stuff that isn't necessarily going to be as showy as or sellable as awesome stuff like this.
But my business cards are very lovely, and thank you very much.
Anytime.
Wait, do you have business cards?
I do have business cards.
I've never had business cards.
You don't want business
I
cards.
don't.
You've said this several times.
Yeah, I think it's funny you have them though. You do. You've been
I have
working here
business
for like a
cards.
day.
I'm all official. I've been here for like a month, and I have business cards.
I was told like 2 weeks before you got there to make you business cards.
Really?
Do you have business cards?
No.
How am I the only one with business cards?
We went, well, again, like in that process of talking to people, it's like there's so much like interaction with other departments and so many decisions that get made. And it's like one of the decisions was that certain people starting, like you started at the same time as our events manager.
Right.
And like there was like a rush to get business cards for particular people. The
And I'm
reasoning
one
for
of
this,
those people.
yeah.
We're just gonna
All
talk about
right.
business cards for the next 20 minutes. So strap in,
We never
in for
said
a
about-
rocky ride.
never
All right,
said
what shirt are you gonna show us, Tom?
So this was a shirt that was shot.
This got
down.
canceled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
This went almost all the way to the finished stage and then got canceled at the very end. This is never before seen.
Ooh. Oh, you have a PowerPoint and stuff.
No.
I'm unprepared.
It's just a PDF.
Well, there are slides.
It's the most condescending way to ever talk about a PDF.
So in the proposal
This
way
is
of-
fun. Tom's process is very different from Patrick's.
Tom's brain is broken. So like when I put together a proposal, I get reference. I go on a couple of sites. I like T Fury. I like All In Merch. Johnny Cupcakes, and I like to see what else is going on, to see who's doing what, like what things are on sale. Not necessarily a good thing. When something's on sale, it makes me question why are they trying to unload it. Not always. Sometimes it has something to do with an event or something on the business end, but it's something that I take into consideration, and I compile like a bunch of different pieces of art, different designs, and the one that I'm going to talk about is I wanted to do like a is it Shepherd Fairey?
Yeah, you ever seen
Yep.
Shepherd Fairey's the Obey posters and the logo and that kind of thing? So you were going to parody it.
Yeah, and there was a big run on parody stuff. It's a lot of fun to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do like an RT version of the Obey campaign, that sticker with Andre the Giant, and I was like, okay, so that fits. In my mind, that fit like the Achievement Hunter and specifically the Jeff mentality of things.
Like the demographic of people who would follow that kind of thing.
So here you can see like some of the stuff that I gleaned from the internet. Similar things, also parody. After coming up with some research, I go to like what's going to be in there, like what kind of fonts I want to use.
There's a font called Badonkadonk on there.
Why would you not want Badonkadonk,
Font people are weird.
right?
I made my first font this year.
Yeah?
I'd never made fonts before.
Really?
I made the Funhouse logo font because they wanted to have the typeface to do stuff.
See, I
It's
was
typable?
making stuff for Funhouse. I was trying to figure out what that was. But you
Yeah.
made that?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was horrible. Like, it's something that I've like idolized as a designer for a long time. Like, oh man, like his fonts, stupidly enough, are a big part of designers, and we love them and we collect them. And so you think like, oh, I'm gonna make a font. It is the most tedious thing ever because you like go and you're like, I'm gonna make everything because I hate when I go to fonts and they don't have a parentheses or
Oh,
something.
it's the worst.
And I got done with just capital letters and I said, fuck it, I'm done.
So wait,
They don't get lowercase.
Not
I'll
to-
give them a period. That's it.
Speaking of that, I'm a little bit less than stoked on your choice of Dream for the main RTX font.
Oh, the font that I picked, yeah.
And no,
I don't really
no
have forward thinking when I think of
parentheses,
stuff.
No exclamation
Yep.
marks.
So wait, speaking of not to derail us too far anymore.
Let's go back to business cards.
Okay.
So
yeah.
business cards.
No. This is serious. If you could have one font, only one font to use for the rest of your time as a designer.
Comic Sans.
No. Like seriously.
That's my baby. Yeah, I'm fired.
I'd go into another business.
That is
You
like a
only use-
resignation
you can
letter
only
right
use one
there.
font?
Oh, that'd be the best to have a resignation letters designer in Comic Sans. And then sign at the bottom with papyrus.
Like an elegant drop shadow on there.
You were talking, Tom.
Sorry.
Nope.
All right, so yeah, you go through and you pull out a bunch of fonts and ideas, and this is basically how Tom pitches his stuff to me. Because basically, there's a lot of times where we might have some exact projects, shirts, stuff like that we want to give. In fact, I'm going to show a couple of those that I had you guys do. And then sometimes, they kind of be like, "What's our next project?" I was like, "Make anything you want." And so, because we have so many different properties now. I mean, within Achievement Hunter, within animation, within live action, there's just so many shows going on that we constantly can make merch about anything we want. And so there's some times where we have specifics that we want to do, and then at times that's why you saw that document. It's like Tom threw out a Ruby idea, he threw out a Achievement Hunter idea, he threw out other stuff, and so this is the approval process.
After getting reference, like art-wise, it would then go to the things I was going to use in the actual design. It's like, what kind of expression would we want this guy to have? Like, how do we want it to be cropped? How do we want everything to come together? So, looking at images that I had access to, the initial compilation.
Isn't that fun?
sketch,
That's awesome.
taking just enough of Jeff's face and just enough of the Shepherd Fairy Obey Andre the Giant image. I like to draw things out a lot more than I get a feel for the piece a little bit easier when I'm actually drawing it. It lets me understand like where the line is coming from, where it's going, when it's actually like in my hand.
Yeah. So this is scan. You actually drew this on paper.
Yeah.
Wait, we have a scanner?
Yeah. Talk to Emily about
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere.
And those are different iterations. You can see the progression given notes. It's like Jeff would be like, "Oh, my chin is too big." "Oh, I look like a crack addict." That was actually one of his notes. Or no, it was pedophile.
Yeah, that was the note.
And that was why the shirt got shot down, because it gave like a certain light. And it was like because we're talking with so many people, and like everybody who knows like their audience or everything that's adding up to something that's going to be sold, that's going to be merchandise. Like we want everybody to be happy with how it turns out. We don't want there to be a doubt in anyone's mind.
Yeah, we don't want to have anybody sell anything that they don't like. We try to get merch that the department themselves, that this is going to be a part of, that they like. It's not necessarily something that they asked for or something that they made themselves, but this is for them, this is for their fans, and we want them to be able to tell the truth when they ask people, "Hey, you should buy this shirt."
And that's what it would have looked like if it had gone through. We do a mock-up, and we have this was like the old mock-up guy.
He's our old hipster.
We've recently acquired a new model.
Yeah, we've upgraded.
So Emily told me that one time that she said she thought the new mock-up guy was hot.
Yep.
So that's why John switched, so he could get his designs approved easier.
So they get pushed through the approval process?
Yeah, it was more so that the new model was a higher res image and that he was facing the camera straight, because that guy's a little side, so we have to like kind of skew the design to make it look like it's actually on the shirt. So the guy was facing straight, but then she told me she thought I was doing it because she thought the guy was hot.
How does Yuri feel about this? Emily's husband.
I guess he's fine with it.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a shirt that got canceled, and that's actually that's a big rarity lately. It happened, I guess, a little more often maybe a year ago, but we're kind of like use everything of the Buffalo now. and we don't have a lot of time to spend time on projects that get canceled, and so we try. It's very rare when something gets this far in the process and gets canceled. But it's a little fun to pull out stuff like this and show what could have been, and you guys can have a glimpse behind the scenes.
You want to at some point show the.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show you. I don't remember what I brought. Oh, I brought the RT Shorts DVD, and I guess it's almost like a poster, except we didn't print as a poster. Did you guys see the RT Shorts volume something and something that just came out recently? 3 and 4? Was it 3 and 4? It was 3 and 4. I brought that because it has a real. Again, it's very like movie poster like Patrick's, but my favorite projects that I get to do at the office is when I get to go take photos of the guys and then use those photos in merch like posters. In fact, we have a few posters at the in RTX this year that premiered here that were photo projects, like the Slow-Mo Guys poster and that kind of thing. So I'll show you a little bit of that, and I guess it's also a lot of people think of me as the photo guy at the office. So I'll start from actually that part. Actually, close that, and just gonna open everything. All right, so for projects like this, I'll start off scheduling some time with all the personalities that I need in the poster, and we'll go into the studio. Hey, you stop. Stupid preview. Go back. And I'll set up a photo shoot with them. We'll go in the studio, we'll pull a bunch of lights, and we'll take a bajillion photos. And then I do all of my photo editing in Lightroom. Lightroom is the best program known to man. Back in the day when I used to do wedding photography, this was like a godsend, because when you're doing shoots like that, you're like, I just took 5,000 photos today, and to edit all those or to go through all those in like Photoshop or like, God forbid, Bridge. God, I hate that. Anytime I accidentally hit the command key to open up Bridge, I just get mad.
Yeah.
And just like can't hit force quit faster. And so, yeah, go into Lightroom. I'll go through, I'll weed them all down into some of my favorites. And then it'll go through probably about 3 rounds of that, of like whittling it down to the ones that I want. And as you can see in here, some of these are marked up with stars and colors, and that kind of allows me to organize some of the photos I like. And then once I have them picked down, I'll do a lot of the post editing in Lightroom. Lightroom adds more and more tools that allow you don't have to go into Photoshop so much anymore to do the fine tunings. But I mean, there's still a few things you can definitely do in Photoshop that Lightroom can't do. But maybe someday they'll keep adding like some airbrush stuff or something like that. And so yeah, I'll go in Lightroom, narrow it down to the main ones I want. I'll get crops in. And so these were the 6 photos. There was also a photo of Chris that I took outside of him in that tattered wife beater and the sword and everything like that. But I took that on a separate photo shoot. And so once I get that, this kind of gives me an idea of all the assets I'm going to use in the poster. And then basically I was like working on like a great floating head poster. Everyone loves a floating head poster. And so the first process was pulling them all in and getting the general scale and layout of them all. That way I knew where I needed to put all the assets and the backgrounds and the effects and that kind of stuff. There's Chris. And he's so cute. And so yeah, there's threw Chris into there. After that, grabbed a bunch of stock imagery, some fire and some skies and that kind of thing. We don't heavily use stock imagery. But in fact, the only place we ever use it is maybe in a poster, and we'll use maybe 1 or 2 items.
And fun fact, that explosion behind Chris is the same explosion used throughout the Sarge 2 poster. We only have 1 explosion.
We're cheap. Actually, we're not. The reason is that we would reuse something is because when you buy stock imagery, and if you're going to put it on something that you're going to sell, you have to buy an expensive extended license to do resale. And so, like, that fireball was like, this is $400, that kind of thing, So it's like, we're not going to like waste all of the profits we get from the poster on getting just the right stock imagery. And so that's where that comes in. What did I do next? Oh, okay. After that, I did a little bit of vignetting to make it so the whole poster could bleed off into black, because I knew it was going to turn into a DVD cover. I did a little bit of color grading, as well as I think I did some curves and that kind of thing. And so the great thing about color grading and adding like things like gradient maps and stuff like that is that when you have a image that's a splice of a bunch of other photos you took. Gradient mapping is a great way to flatten everything to the same kind of look. So it looks like they all were shot at the same time, or they all are being used in the same place. When in fact, these were separate photo shoots with, same lights and everything like that. But it really gives the whole poster. It brings Chris in with the rest of them. It brings the fireball and the sky in with everything else. So it's a great unifier. Threw in some logo and typeface stuff. I think that was it. Yeah, that's it. Easy peasy. That was it. Just 5 steps to make a poster like that. Some of my favorite stuff I get to do is the photography at Rooster Teeth. Tom gets to do some photography as well for like the store and that kind of thing. But that is a glimpse into my process.
Is that Dream font? Is that?
I don't know. I don't remember the names of these fonts. It's font that I liked. All right. I got a couple other things before we go into Q&A. I'm going to show you guys stuff that's coming out. And it's stuff that I didn't make, which is the best stuff now. That's the cool thing about the store right now, is that when I got hired on, it became more and more of John was making the majority of the shirts. And then as we got busier and busier, I got the opportunity to, and as I kind of took over the department, I got to farm out stuff to all kinds of people. Tom got to do some more stuff. Patrick gets to do stuff now. And we even get to do freelancers, and I'll talk about them in a second. But I'm going to show stuff that these guys have made recently that's going to come out. And first we'll show some RVB stuff that Tom made. This is a Meta shirt that's going to be in the store soon. With the, is it Charon? Is that how you pronounce it? Charon Industries logo and that kind of thing. So this will be in the store coming soon, well before the is over. And so yeah, Tom kind of he took a little bit of a look from like his name is Freckles, like schematics kind of look, but then kind of threw his own little twist into it. Spent a lot of time making that Meta schematic, a lot of lines.
So did you freehand that, or is that a trace of an existing asset?
I got a low-res image from animation and just threw a layer on there and started tracing.
Cool.
A lot with stuff like that, you kind of have to make a choice of what gets lines and what doesn't to get that look. You can't just trace every single line. But yeah, I like it. What do you guys think?
I know we can talk about this after, but this is the design panel. And then so when you did this, you just designed, when you did the frontal shot, you just did the lines on half and then reflected and then merged all the lines. Okay.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder.
Right, like it was like cut down the middle. Yeah, drew like I think I started on the right side and then just made a copy and flipped it over. So
do you? Sorry, really nitty gritty. Do you? What Pathfinder option do you use, or do you join everything?
Just say yes.
I don't know if I got that far yet. I don't think it's one piece right now.
Oh.
Like the press file isn't ready.
Okay.
He's split. That's the exact same process, though, that if you guys have seen, 2 of my favorite shirts I got to make this year was the Felix and the Locust shirt with the helmets. I love that style of design, and as well as this kind of style. A little bit of that style, like the Felix and Locust stuff, is kind of inspiration from a lot of the hood and gooey stuff that you kind of see in Avengers and other sci-fi stuff like that. And so same thing, you get an image, make one side, and thanks to the symmetry of robotics, you can just flip it over. So yeah, that's something you guys will see in the store very soon. And then I pulled one that Patrick got to make recently.
Oh, I did this like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so X-Ray and Vav obviously coming out, and we love to bring out merch while the show is coming out. But due to the fact that often the guys are making stuff right up to when it's getting released, we don't get a glimpse too often into the finished product of stuff. And you also don't kind of get an idea of like what stuff really stands out to the community or the audience until it comes out. And so sometimes we're making stuff beforehand that's going to come out with it. You'll see that when something comes out when a season premieres or something like that. And other times we're a little bit reactive. And this is an example of reactive where, that was in the 2nd episode of this season. And yeah, we have Goo Goo Gaga Bitch on a shirt. Which is also a problem because we try not to put swear words on shirts.
And that's really tough working at Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, we have colorful language in all of our stuff.
Okay, so the other day, they asked me to put a dick into a logo. That was a request. That was a note. Can you make this look more like a penis?
Isn't that like the exact opposite of what you try and do as a
Yeah,
designer?
seriously. That's like what I spend most of my time trying not to do. But no,
Dick
they
and balls,
ask for it.
even. That's what you need to do. Yeah, dick and balls.
It was crazy.
Full anatomy. So stuff like this, things like the goddamn it Barb shirt, and some of the other like the podcast shirts and stuff like that will hide things. So it's not as blatant. I mean, this is pretty blatant. I mean, you can tell what that word is, but we try to make it so that the majority of our fan base can buy it and wear it most places. I know when we do stuff like this, we do lose a few people who can't wear this around or don't want to wear this around, but I think it's funny. So that's all that matters. Yeah. So there's a Goo Goo Gaga, bitch. Thanks, Patrick.
You're welcome, John.
Oh yeah. Okay. One more thing before we do some Q&A, and that is, like I said, this year I got the opportunity to excessively get to hire a lot of freelancers to do design work, and I know a lot of you guys don't. We try to do our best to shout them out on the social media and that kind of thing. But I think a few of you guys are here. I know Lauren's here. Lauren, get up and say and wave. This is Lauren Crozier. Lauren did. I'll just pull this up so I can see this while everyone's doing it. Lauren did a few of our shirts early on in the year. I think the ones I've gotten here, she did the Creatures of Grimm shirt up there in the top left. She did the second podcast chalkboard shirt up there in the middle. She did the other podcast set one down there at the bottom right. And you did the sun one, the right? Did you do the sun one in the bottom middle? Oh, you did Demo Disc as well. Demo Disc was one that it was your idea. You came up and we kind of modified and collaborated a little bit on kind of changing the text. But yeah, that was your idea. And so Lauren has been a long-standing illustrator and fan for Rooster Teeth, and now Lauren gets to actually work at the office in the animation department, and she is more than excited about that. And yeah, so thanks a lot, Lauren. I don't know who else is here, so if you are one of my freelancers, raise your hand, stand up. Is that Sinisai? Yeah. Hi. This is Sinisai. I'm only going to call you that. I'm not going to call you your real name. I know most of my freelancers by their Tumblr tags or Twitter handles. That's how we have to yell at each other wait, who is this really again? I got to actually send an email to this person of who it is.
Who do you write the checks out to?
Not right, Sinisai? That's all I say it to, right? Yeah. Yeah. What on here? What on here did you get to do this year?
I did the playing cards.
Right, the Rooster Teeth shows playing cards. That was completely all you, and you did it very fast because we needed it very fast, and you did an awesome job. I love them all. Yeah, this isn't everything we did. I tried to just kind of fit a few of sampling of stuff, but you did other stuff. What else did you do?
I did the Attack on Titan.
Oh. Yeah, that is
the
cool.
wait, what was the? It's the lettering is actually Advancing Grimm was the name because the actual Attack on Titan Japanese title is actually Advancing Giants or something like that. Yeah. I love that shirt so much.
It's awesome.
That was one that I think I sent you that idea. Oh no, you pitched that idea first. You sent me an email with a bunch of different ideas, and I was like, this is awesome. And so we have to do this, and so I'm so glad this is out, and everyone loves it. Everyone who works at Ruby went nuts when they saw this. Yeah. What other things did you do for me?
And then I did the Red vs. Blue playing cards too.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah, you did those. Was it last year or something like that? Yeah. Love working with you. Love your stuff. Can't wait to do some more this year, okay? Yeah. Is anybody else here? I think you were maybe the only ones that emailed me back that was here. We've got stuff that people that live that all over the place. Natty Malleus on Tumblr and stuff like that. I adore her. I love working with people like Lauren and Sinisai and that kind of thing. I love working with people that are way more talented than I am. Because I by no means am an illustrator at all. I'm not a sketch artist. Patrick is way more talented with that, and I love it. And Tom, the fact that he can sketch out stuff beforehand and show it to me makes it so much easier. Thank God I don't have to sketch to someone because they would be so frustrated with me anymore. But yeah, Malleus, she did the Fake AH Crew poster right there. That was something that she was making stuff beforehand. This happens kind of like how it happened with me originally getting my job, was that people make fan art and we see it and we go, we'd like to buy it. So give it to us, and we love to work with them. So we bought that, and we used that multiple times. You guys have seen like the ads recently online of Achievement Hunter, and we love using that artwork. Malleus also did. She did a few things. She did the what? Oh yeah, she did the Yang Akira parody right there. That was one that I'd been wanting to do. I think I tried to get Patrick to do it, but he didn't have any time, and so I knew I wanted someone with that kind of anime style.
Not me, Patrick.
Yeah, sorry. Oh god, we have like 20 Patricks now at the office. It's the worst thing ever. I really tried to not hire someone with the same name. I really tried. I mean, I had a bunch of other people that I looked at, but it was just I ended up finding another, young white boy. But you're wonderful. You're wonderful.
Thank you, John.
And but yeah, Malleus has a great anime style, and so I loved working with her. I sent her that idea, and she was able to do the Yang and the bike. And what's really amazing is seeing some of these illustrators who do not have any prior experience with T-shirt design, which T-shirt design is very different than from an illustrator. Lauren can attest to that. There's a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of detail restrictions and color restrictions that you can't do with shirts that they have to kind of go along with. And so she did a fantastic job at the Yang thing. I love it. Barbara went nuts when she saw it. I also got to work with a girl named Beth Kerner this year. She's also a long-standing community illustrator and that kind of thing. She loves to do, if you guys have seen her portraits of like the patch and stuff like that. Beth is also has a really cool, different style with her illustration. It's actually a very graphic design kind of style. She did a really good job. Her first thing we did was the Temple of Doom logos down there. That was Beth, and that was another one where she made those. The Achievement Hunter guys like Lindsay and stuff, came to me and were like, hey, can we buy this? Because we want to actually use it in the video, but we don't want to use it in the video until we actually have rights to it because we want to actually sell it. So she did that, and that also kickstarted us working on some other stuff with her throughout the year. Then there's also a few in here. Every once in a while I get to still work with Patrick Rodriguez. That's my baby. And Patrick, still every once in a while, some of my favorite things I get to do with Patrick now, because he is super busy. He's running. What is he running now? What's his department? I guess considered you guys.
He's art director for
He's
animation.
Animation art director, and so congratulations to him for getting to go to that extent of his job. But every once in a while, I'll chat him, and I'll be like, Patrick, I need a quizzical looking cow for a Ryan shirt. And 5 minutes later, he sends me that cow that's on the Haywood Dairy thing, and I just love him. And so yeah, Patrick gets to do stuff every once in a while. Like the Super Achievement Hunter ones, that was another one that Patrick got to do. I got to do with Patrick. The podcast Pizza with Gus, the Grand Heist, the one up there on the top. That was another one that was super fun to just like paint a picture of words to him and for him to come up with how that looked in the end. It was great. And even the Select Your Hero thing with RVB, again, I'm a very limited artist. I'm not that talented. And so I have ideas and I can send them to Patrick. Like, I need pixel art that looks really awesome, but it's limited to only a few colors of the entire RVB crew. And he sent me that. Let's see, who else did I get to work with this year? I got to work with all kinds of people. Tobin. Tobin's one of my most recent guys. Tobin Lee. If you guys see the Funhouse poster down there, the House Funhouse, and he made the what do you do? The Achievement Hunter one. They're here at RTX. That bitchin' 80s sci-fi poster. That guy is an amazing painter. Has a crazy style. I want him to do a portrait of me and Bella, and I want to put it over my mantle in my house because he has that great classic painting. And this motherfucker is fast. If you go look at his posters, it's an amazing amount of detail and beautiful color work, and he turns it around so quickly. That House Funhouse thing was done so quickly, and because we really wanted to come out with the release of the shirt, and while Game of Thrones was still on TV, and so he was able to turn that around and do a custom shirt, and I love him, and all of my illustrators. It's been so much fun. So please give a round of applause to all of these guys. You have to work with me. So I think that's a good example of how awesome our job is. We get to do the best thing that designers ever get to do. So we have a little bit of time for some Q&A. Do we have a mic somewhere? Right there. So you guys, you want to line up, you can ask us anything, and we'd love to talk with you. Yeah. I'll leave this up here. This is pretty. Oh, or I'll get rid of it.
Aw.
What'd I do?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So at my work, we use VectEasy, which is vector.
Love VectEasy.
Yes, Dreamstime and iStock. But besides the ones I mentioned, what kind of stock image websites do you guys use, and which ones are your favorite?
For photos and stuff, we basically, I think we just use our account on iStock Photo. Might jump onto Shutterstock for that kind of things. And also those sites have vector stuff as well.
We have an account on iStock Photo.
We do. We don't have any money in it.
Oh.
I didn't know we had a lynda.com account.
We have a Lynda account?
Yeah.
What?
Because they are a sponsor of ours. Lynda's not stock photo. Lynda is just classes. But they're not paying for this panel.
They're
but
a sponsor?
fantastic.
They were a sponsor.
This panel is brought to you by Lynda.com.
I wish. That'd be so cool. Love Lynda.
I don't, every once in a while, if you're lucky, DeviantArt will have some stuff. People post stuff on there. They have a stock image section. Sometimes you just got to Google it. Yeah, there's always a limitation of sites that have like vector stock stuff. And so
I like WeGraphics.
WeGraphics. Creative Market is another great place. They're
Ooh,
not free,
Creative Market, yeah.
but it's like microtransactions, and they also have a great free section all the time. They're always updating their free section, so you like it's not necessarily stuff you can use, but it's like I'm gonna add this to my library because someday I'm gonna need these brushes and stuff like that. And then they also every month have like a giant package that they'll sell of like 1 million stock things for like $50. And it's like, it's so much you could never even use. And so they're a good place. Creative Market's a good stuff. And it's like, I think it's also run by individuals. And so it's kind of like Etsy, where you can go pay the artist for their own stuff.
Whenever I need assets, I try as hard as I possibly can to make them myself. You know, if I need a Photoshop brush, I make that Photoshop brush myself.
Yeah.
If I need a texture, I try to take the picture myself, even though I'm not half the photographer that John is.
No, you're not. Yeah, but that's also a good discipline to work on, is making your own library.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'm a bit taller. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll be taller then. All right. I was at the panel last year, so thanks for holding us again. They're really informative.
Yeah.
The question I had was, if you had to work for any other company besides Rooster Teeth, what would you work for?
Is this a trick question? And this is how you get fired.
Yeah. They're bosses here.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
He's smart. What do you guys think?
Oh.
Go.
I have an answer, but I'll let you guys
You have
answer
an
first.
answer?
Yeah.
Go first.
No.
Oh. I think it would be really cool to work on like a newer startup company. Something like Dropbox would be awesome. Dropbox has a killer design team, and I'd love to be a part of that.
That's funny to say, but it's very true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, cloud storage.
I'd like to work for like an agency again at one point. I started out my career working with it was at that point Sokola Martin. It was in Austin. It's since turned into Y&R Austin. But like places like Pentagram, Rocket Dog, like places that have like people, DJ Stout, like one of my favorite designers, or like Segmeister.
Yeah.
Like I have friends who worked with Seymour Schwass.
Really?
And yeah, they interned.
Wow.
And, like, to be able to work in such a collaborative atmosphere where you're not only working with we work with a lot of people, a lot of great artists, but we're working with different clients, to be working with so many companies is something that I really like, that dynamic, and at some point I think that would be super cool.
Mine is a really silly answer, but I've always wanted to work for like Pixar or Disney. That's just always been my dream. I'm sure there's like plenty of people who could tell like horror stories about working there or something like that. I don't know. People to ruin my dream, but I'm sticking by it. I love what those guys make. The end product is amazing, and if I wasn't at Rooster Teeth, I'd probably be pursuing that.
Can I revise my answer?
Yeah, shut up. So yeah.
Hi.
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 So my question is, what like project
has been like the most challenging, and like how did you deal with like
Hiring
those
a new person.
Huh?
Hiring a new person. Worst thing in the world. Hate it. No, most challenging project you got to work this year?
Yeah, like did you have like challenging people like were you like, I love this idea, it's so great, and then they were like, no, like change it.
Patrick recently had a project that was challenging. I mean, it wasn't working with bad people. It was just, it took a while to get to the end product.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion. Like, I think a big part of design is communication, when communicating with the client in this case, and communicating the idea of the show to the audience. And you're really that middle ground that's trying to get the client's idea to the audience. And as a designer, part of your job is knowing how to most effectively do that, but sometimes the client doesn't quite get that, you know? And so for this project, a lot of the time, I kind of felt like the clients were just using me as a pencil, you know, to like transcribe their right ideas.
You can see our projects for it. You know, you guys seen the pilot episodes for the sports podcast and that kind of thing?
Oh,
A lot
is
of
that a
sports
thing?
fans here? Yeah? Yeah?
Has Sports Ball come out yet?
No, but hasn't.
But
But
just
they've been doing pilots, stuff like that.
Oh.
So we've been working on the branding for that show.
Yeah, so I've been doing the branding for the new sports podcast.
Big thing I hired Patrick on for was that with all these new shows that we keep adding, we're trying to upgrade the branding and the look of everything. And so that kind of comes down to our department. And I definitely needed a graphic designer who could pump out really awesome logos very quickly, because it seems like every time we get a new logo, 3 more departments see it and go, I want one as good as that. And then they ask for like updated logos, because in the past, Rooster Teeth didn't have like a team of designers that could do that. And so whatever they had, whatever they had. And so that's something that with the new designer I really looked for. And Patrick is doing a phenomenal job at that. He's a great logo artist.
Oh, thanks, John.
Yeah. And so yeah, you had to go through a lot of different versions of that sports logo.
So many.
Yeah, the end product was really awesome. But there's also a lot of really awesome other like alt versions. Maybe next year we'll show those.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Anything come to mind for you, Tom?
No, I got nothing. I mean, there's just so many things. It's like it's difficult to pick one thing to talk about, to say like, hey, I prefer this over another. It's like,
I think for me, anything with Laser Team this year. Not so much it's been difficult with the people, although it's just been difficult because it's just a big project, but also I kind of put a lot of pressure on myself for that because it's a big deal to me for our first feature film, and it's the first time I get to work as a designer on a feature film, and so things like logo and poster and shirts and all that kind of stuff, I kind of like, I pressure myself into making it a big deal, and so that's what's been challenging is all the Laser Team stuff. So please don't hate it. It'll break my little heart. Aww. The soulless robot is sad. That answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So I have just recently graduated high school, and I was doing graphic design for like 5 years, but just on the high school level, and I don't exactly have money for school or the patience for graphic design school. So is there a place for like kind of budding designers and stuff in the design industry on like probably like a freelance level, not like a full-time thing, who don't have the schooling but still, you know, being able to produce professional stuff like that? Yeah, and kind of how do you like work your way into?
So you're talking about getting like freelance work,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I don't really have like an exact answer of like where everyone is hanging out with freelance jobs, because that would be a really cool place. I would have been there a lot of times in my career. I think something that's really just important to do is, regardless of having clients, make shit. Always be adding to your portfolio. It's literally how I got my job. I was not doing stuff for Rooster Teeth as a hire before I was making Rooster Teeth fan art and stuff like that, as well as just any other design work, posters and logos and that kind of thing. So that's definitely something to do, because then you have a bigger chance of being found. Even if you can't find clients, if you make enough, like, and a lot of these illustrators, none of them came to me for like work. We found them. Because if you gain enough skill and gain enough a good look to your stuff, it's hard to pass up people like that. So definitely, do stuff no matter what. Make stuff to your portfolio no matter what.
So, and I would like to add to that, because I feel I feel like we're in a similar place where I'm actually not much older than you are when I got this job.
Yeah, you're a
But-
baby.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a kid. So what you got to do on top of what John said is just share it. Make stuff and share it. Find a place where you can like show your work to people, whether that's like a Squarespace site that you make or a Tumblr or the Rooster Teeth site actually is a really good place for that. But just make stuff and share it. That's the big thing.
Because you will, like, there'll be opportunities that come up. People might find you and ask for, a logo for their company and that kind of thing. And you might even be applying for jobs and stuff like that. And it's really important that when they do come looking for you, you have something to show them. That was something really a big deal to me when I was hiring a new designer, was that your resume is important. It's fine. It's good. It shows that you have, some stability or some experience. But in the end, I immediately go to the portfolio of every artist that I look at and see if they've been able to produce some good stuff and produce a lot of it consistently. I don't really like a lot of one-offs because that shows me that you just kind of have a fluke. But if for example, with Patrick, I was like, oh, he made all these logos and icons over and over again. He can do this. He can reproduce this stuff.
Yeah, so just sit down at your computer and just make something every day.
Fan art's the best.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
If there's an AIGA chapter in your area, definitely hang out with those guys. Even if you're not a member, you can still go and hang out at their social things.
Is that in Canada?
Good call. I'm sure there is a Canadian graphic artist guild.
CIGA?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like meetup groups happen constantly. Also, like having a good, solid, formal portfolio, like online, like a Behance account or something that's tied in to the marketability, not necessarily just a social thing.
Squarespace is a good thing. I have a Verb site, verb.com, and they're the same kind of thing. But I've always loved them, and it's a great, clean, pretty way to show off your stuff.
I was just using Squarespace because they are a sponsor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This episode brought to you by Squarespace
And Linda.
and Linda. Sorry, we didn't really answer your question, but that's the best we could do.
That's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So my father's a graphic designer. He actually has 3 business cards.
Is it a contest?
Huh?
Nothing. What's the question?
Uh,
You just come up here to brag about your dad?
yeah, essentially.
My dad could be of your dad. No, he couldn't.
Just a very general question. What do you think was your favorite thing to work on?
Ever?
No, just for Rooster Teeth.
I've been here like a month. So the Sarge 2 poster is definitely the most fun.
Yeah. Any of my photography. I love getting to do it. Killed it. Anything that I get to do with photography, I'm loving it here. It's really fun to do photos with stuff. So like the Slow-Mo Guys poster that's in the store right now, that was really fun to shoot with. That RT Shorts poster or DVD artwork, that was fun to do. I love doing photography. So anything I get to do with that.
First round of playing cards, the ones who are just RT with like all the little logos and stuff, like all the drawing in there, and like having to put that into like package design. Like I love package design when you have to like worry about like die cuts and where things are gonna get printed and cut off and stuff like that.
Cool.
There you go. We've got like 5 minutes, so we're gonna rapidly go through the rest of you guys.
Hi, my name's Haley, and I actually have a challenge for you guys. I don't know if you do this or not, but I want you guys to make a Zooey plush from Ruby. Because I've always wanted a Zooey plush from Ruby the dog.
Oh, it's why.
Why?
Sorry, I totally called you out. It's what the corgi?
Yeah, the corgi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
from
like
Ruby.
Zwei.
I like her pronunciation better.
Zooey?
It's cuter.
So,
I wish we did it with the German things. Zwei.
oh,
Like that's
well,
what it's supposed to be. Ein, zwei.
I just think that would really sell because I was telling my friends, I'm like, if only they could make it. And they
We'll
were
be
like,
doing more toys and plush this year, and Zwei is definitely on the table.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I want it too. Shut up.
What's your favorite branch of Rooster Teeth to produce for, or produce products for?
Funhouse.
Funhouse.
Those guys are too much fun. They're so excited. They're so excited to do anything design wise because they were like deprived of it at their previous job, and so anytime we get to make a logo or a shirt or anything like that, they're just like, "This is awesome," and also I just love them. No offense, animation.
Hi. I made
Well, they
it to
can
the
answer
pin-
too. What's your guys' favorite?
I don't know, like the stuff that comes out from Achievement Hunter. I just like that aesthetic. It's always fun to work on that stuff.
And again, I've been here like a month, so
You're the worst. Next question.
Hi, John. I
Hi.
made it to the panel. But I was just wondering if, like, because I'm still in high school, so I was wondering if there was, like, a way to get, like, Photoshop or some kind of editing program, like, that's not as expensive that I could, like, do stuff in.
GIMP.
Huh?
GIMP.
Yeah, GIMP. GIMP. That's a free. That's the Photoshop free one, right? Or is that the?
Pretty much.
There's an Illustrator one too. I can't remember what it's called.
Coral Draw.
What?
Inkscape?
Inkscape. But yeah, GIMP. GIMP's a free one.
GIMP.
Not going to be as robust as Photoshop, but if you got no money, it's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, I've designed a decent variety of things over the past time I've been designing, and I was wondering, with the recent hiring of Patrick, what future things you'd be looking forward to hiring a full-time Rooster Teeth designer?
What was really valuable about Patrick, as well as what Tom brings to the table, is that because we do design for so many different departments and so many different things, you know, one day we'll be doing a shirt, one day we'll be doing a logo, one day we'll be doing, you know, stuff for events, stuff like that, really we need versatility. I need that you can, you know, I can throw you a few different kinds of jobs because that's kind of just what comes to us. Sometimes we have like a bunch of the same kind of a job. We need a bunch of different branding or a bunch of different stuff for an event. And if it's all, you know, caught up with just one person who can do it, it's not going to happen as fast. And so having guys that I can throw a few different things to is the best. A lot of places that you go work, you might be only doing one thing. And these guys even specialize in certain stuff. I know I'll be giving a lot of the branding stuff to Patrick because that's what I mainly hired him for. It was something that you know, Tom and I both can do, but it's definitely something that would be nice if someone who's specialized in it could take it over.
I absolutely love doing logos. It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. You know, definitely good to specialize in stuff, but versatility is extremely important. Same with like being able to pass off some photo stuff to Tom and stuff like that. Just having other people that can do, you know, other skills is good.
Thank you.
Is there any chance we'll be getting any of the in-house typefaces?
No. I don't know. That's the one, Funhouse. Oh, wait, I did. I made one for Laser Team.
Oh, that's custom
That
too?
was also
I thought
horrible.
That was Futura.
No, the Indiegogo version one. And then we also made one for one of the alien languages in the movie. Maybe someday. You know, actually, I don't know. I don't know what the release of those are, but if we do, we'll make a big fuss about it, and you know, we'll shout out on social media they're available. But I don't know.
We should work on getting them in-house first.
Yeah, you need them?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking of typefaces and fonts, would you accept this font that I sort of created?
An analog font?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Heck yeah.
Can I steal it? Yes. Is it mine forever now?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, cool. I like that. That's fun. Mine now. Sucker. What's up?
Okay. I have no experience in art or anything, but I did want to suggest. I'm sorry, I'm shaking.
It's okay.
I did want to suggest. Do you know what the fandom basically calls Felix?
The Spartan guy in RVB?
Yeah.
The bad guy? Yeah.
Trash.
Trash?
Yes.
That's his name?
Well, it's not a name, but it's a nickname.
Is this true? Literal
Please-
garbage?
Please make a trash can version of him on a
Make
shirt.
a trash can one? I'll think about it. Yeah. We've already got a Felix shirt, and so since we've got so many things to make shirts of, we try to get everyone, you know, represented. But I guess if enough people show up calling Felix trash, can't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are weird. Have you heard this, Lauren? No? Any of you guys? All right. It's just the weird fans.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too,
poor
man.
Felix. I wonder if Miles knows
Take
that.
Felix.
Gotta hurt his feelings.
That's all we got. Thank you so much, guys. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I'm going to shamelessly plug my next panel, which is I have a broadcast panel in an hour that we're going to talk about the making of On the Spot. And so we're going to show some behind-the-scenes stuff. So if you like On the Spot and love to know how it was made, go see that panel. Marriott, JW Marriott.